Since I'm doing the introducing, I want to thank you all, current students, Dr. Martin and Dr. Weaver, for joining us this evening for the info session. My name's Melissa Rickey. I am the graduate admission counselor here at Ursuline College. So to you students that have joined us this evening, I thank you. You will be reaching out to me if you are still hopefully interested in the program after our information session this evening. I'll be working with you going through the application process and moving you forward to get you ready to start the program. So if anyone else wants to do introductions after me, you are welcome to go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'll say hi to everybody. I'm Dr. Natalie Weaver. And so I work and I co-direct the program with Dr. Martin, and I've been at Ursuline. I think we were hired at the same time, so we've been there almost 20 years. So I
did the math today, Natalie. I have to count every single time I do this because it doesn't seem like we've been here that long, but we have.
I know, and we've had. I mean, if for no other reason, you want to join the program to have Dr. Martin as.
I would say the same for you, Natalie. So.
We just have, and I'm so grateful. I never feel like this is work. It's play in a sense. I mean, it's just joyful to be part of this program in the college, and our students are so wonderful, and it's just a good place. So I hope you're interested and stay interested, and we'd love to have you. And it's nice to be with everyone tonight.
Thanks, Natalie. I'll go ahead too and introduce myself, and then it would be lovely if everybody would just take a few minutes and introduce themselves. So my name is Linda Martin, and I am also serve as the co-director of the program. And so I did the math today, Natalie. It's 17 years that we'll be starting in September, and it seems like a long time, but it also seems like it's just gone by very quickly. I love what I do too. It doesn't seem like work. It's a joy to be doing what I get to do, and just to be a part of people's journeys. Because I think what we do here is just so important, and it's just so transformational, and it's such a delight, and it's a gift to be able to see and walk with people as they grow in this program. So I too love what I do, and I love working with my colleagues. So I'm thrilled too that you're all here, and I thank you for taking time out of your schedules, and I thank you for trusting us with this virtual information session. This is sort of the inaugural virtual information session for our program. So we're grateful that you're with us. Thank you for being here. Would anybody like to just introduce yourself quickly and share with us maybe who you are? And
Dr. Martin, do you want to stop sharing your screen during introduction so we can see everybody's faces? And we
can absolutely do that. And yes, please, I welcome all suggestions, because this is a new thing. So now I have to figure out how to oh, here we go. Stop share. There we go. Is that better?
There we go.
All right.
Yes.
Yay. Okay.
So I think this is probably better during introductions, and then and I'll go since I'm talking already.
Thanks, Julianne.
Hi, everybody. I'm a current student in the Theological and Pastoral Studies program. I'm an environmental lawyer, and I work for a steel company. And I haven't been in school for over 30 years when I started the program about 2 years ago. I'm currently in music ministry at my parish, and I'm very interested in getting involved in more pastoral care through the diocese or through nonprofit organizations. So I'm not currently in ministry, but it's something I'm interested in.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Reverend Rachel Hollander. I'm a graduate of Ursuline's UCAP program as of last May, and then I bridged into the TAPS program, and right now I am taking care of my dog and me, and trying to stay positive during this weird time, and also finish 2 research papers, one for Linda and one for Natalie, and loving the program. It's been life-changing to get a BA degree at 56 years old, and then to be in a master's program, which never was on the agenda in my life. Ask my mom, she'll tell you. And yeah, lots to tell, and this is just me, so hi.
Thanks, Rachel.
Hello, my name is Melissa DeFini. I'm currently in the Lay Ecclesia Ministry program with the Cleveland Catholic Diocese, I'm in my third year of formation, and we were required to take 12 academic courses. And I chose Ursuline because I do not have a college degree, and they offer the religious studies program for undergraduate. And I've been with Ursuline, I think, 3 years now. I started to audit the coursework, but then once they implemented this program, it made it more affordable for me to now pursue a degree. So I believe I'm going to go down that path little by little. And I also own a hair salon, and we're currently shut down. So I'm utilizing this downtime to study more and just spend my time doing other things in ministry as well. So it's been a good experience.
Thanks, Melissa. Thank you for being here tonight, too.
Sure. Thank you.
I guess I'll go next. Hi, everybody. My name is Otis Bevel. I just completed my undergrad studies at Cleveland State in comparative religious studies. And I decided I went back and forth whether I wanted to pursue a degree in master's in social work or theology, and theology won out. So my mentor was a former student at Ursuline, and Reverend Gloria Cheney. And so here I am, and we'll see what happens.
Otis, it's nice to meet you finally. We spoke on the phone, and I'm really glad you could
Absolutely.
join us tonight. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure, and thank you for having me.
So I guess I'll go next. I'm Lori Scharf, and I did the social work route, and this is going to be my retirement. I am making an application to the Cleveland Diocese Lay Ecclesial Ministry Program, Melissa, so hopefully I'll see you around. Get my toes wet, so to speak, with the first course, and really liking it. I love learning, and really appreciated Dr. Martin and my fellow classmates. So that's me.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you?
Okay, I will jump in. My name's Janet.
My mic isn't working.
I don't know, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, and I
We
think
can, I
Eva,
can.
yeah, Eva, I think you're talking too, but I don't hear you very well.
Okay.
And so we have Janet, why don't you go ahead and maybe Eva, you can work on your mic while Janet's talking.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I'm not big on the video aspect.
That's okay, Janet.
I currently work on the commercial side of a manufacturing company. I do have a master's. It's in international studies, but I'm interested in spirituality and Alzheimer's. And so I thought I would look into this program to see what it has to offer.
Okay. Perfect, thank you.
Janice, don't worry. It took me like 3 years to be able to use my video on Zoom. And I just resisted until people like begged me. So no rush.
Okay, I'm Eva. Can you guys hear me?
We
We
can.
can hear you now.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I'm holding this mic up, let you know that I have resisted until this very day. And this is how the best I could do getting on Zoom today. So hello to everyone, and it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of considering Ursuline as part of my journey. I just recently graduated from Baldwin Wallace University, December of last year. Thank God for that. Who knew? And he's ordered my steps this far. Therefore, interested in Ursuline, or life is lining up for me to consider coming. And so I'm just trying to be still enough to know exactly what it is that I'm to do. And part of that was to gain information, and that's why I'm here tonight.
Perfect. Thank you. You're doing really well with that microphone. That's impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like we have one more person. Angela, can you hear us okay? Well, I'll go ahead and jump in, and I would say with this large group or the small group, I think it's okay if we stay unmuted. I have my door shut, so the worst thing that could happen would be that my dog would start barking. So if he does, I will do something, but I think it's okay if we go ahead and unmute. And that way, if you have any questions at any point, please don't hesitate. Just, put your hand up and ask. But my thinking for tonight, and thank you to those of you who joined us from the program. What I was hoping first after we did introductions was just to have each of you talk a little bit about why you chose Ursuline and what your experience has been like so far at Ursuline. And I think you covered a little bit of that in your introductions. But if you wouldn't mind maybe just taking a few minutes or just a minute each and just share again why you chose Ursuline and in particular what the experience has been like. And do you have any advice that you'd like to share with your prospective colleagues? Are there any things that you would like to have known or that you think they ought to know that you think would be really helpful before we start looking at the program in detail?
Yes.
Notes. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Rachel, sorry.
No, I have notes. I'll remember. Go ahead.
Okay, I've got some things written down too. Okay, so I think it's really important to know that, and what I have come to know is that Ursuline is about building relationships and community, and that's very, very important to me. And Dr. Martin and Dr. Weaver have gone above and beyond to help me in every way because I was so intimidated about the academic world. And I know that I don't have to feel that way anymore. Everybody was so warm and welcoming. And they also work around your work schedule as well and to help you get through that. So, and just the professors, Dr. Weaver just challenges you, pulls you out of your comfort zone, and really just helps you think on a much deeper level about every topic that, we're discussing or each course that we have studied. So I just think it's important to know how kind everybody is and the importance of building their relationships with each other in the community at Ursuline.
Thanks, Melissa.
Awesome. Okay, I'll go off my notes. So I chose Ursuline for a couple of logistic reasons. One, I like that, sorry, Otis, I like that it was mostly women, but you're cool with me, Otis, we're all good.
I got you.
And that matched where I was in my life. At my age, the class sizes are small. I didn't want to go into a classroom with 200 people who were 18 years old. That had no interest for me at all. So the small class sizes, and I found that I wasn't the oldest or the youngest. And I found that there was a lot of diversity in the classes, which made me so happy. And I can be something of a rebel. So I found the learning environment to be really welcoming to me for who I am as I am without saying, well, you have to do it this way. Many of my teachers in the UCAP program were like, I'd get the assignment and I'd go, yeah, but can I do that? And they'd be like, sure. So I would go do that. Supportive, encouraging, compassionate. I feel like I've been celebrated for who I am from the day I walked in the doors. And my advice would be to don't be afraid to be yourself. I personally am probably the farthest from Catholicism in my personal beliefs than anybody could be. And I've been heard and I've been honored whenever I've shared from my heart. So I would say that always just step in and be you, because you're going to be accepted exactly as you are. So that's do it.
Thanks, Rachel.
I'll go next. I didn't make it clear when I introduced myself. I'm in the master's program. I think I said I was in the whatever. So I was raised Catholic, and I still sing at church when I go. But I didn't choose Ursuline necessarily because it was Catholic. I chose Ursuline because of the pastoral side of Theological and Pastoral Studies. Having gotten my law degree 30 years ago or so, I always through the years have answered the question when someone has asked, would you ever go back to school? I always said no, unless I got a PhD in divinity. But not that I'm going to do that now. But anyway, it was that pastoral side, I could go several places for theology alone, and really great schools in Cleveland for theology alone, but it was the pastoral study side of it that appealed to me. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with, if anything, with this degree. It's been a very welcoming atmosphere, like Melissa and Rachel both have already said. You can pursue your own interests within the format of the class. So if you're taking a class on Christian scriptures and you are very interested in learning more about Paul, that you can focus on that for your papers. So it's really almost like having an independent study set up within the framework of a class. So that's I think one of the things I like the most.
Laura, did you want to add any more?
No,
Put you on the
like I
spot.
said, honestly, I did have a slow start, and I think it was because of the encouragement of Linda, you calling me. I got lost. My vision was bad at the very beginning, and it's like, do I really want to do this? But there was something that said, yes, I do. And I think really what did it for me was, Linda, you reaching out. So you were more than just the instructor, but there was an investment that really drew me. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Lori. I'm going to try to share screen again here and hope that it doesn't overwhelm you all.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, please, yes.
It's like totally superficial, but the campus is one of the most peaceful places in the city of Cleveland. There's a labyrinth, there's a lot of green space, there's a lake, and there are birds. So even just coming to class, which I miss desperately, is it's such a spiritual experience, just being on the grounds.
We will return to campus.
We will.
Will, yeah.
With Ursuline face masks.
Yeah, nice. I would totally get one of those.
Oh, I know. We're like, we had a conversation about it in our faculty assembly meeting.
We did. And actually, as an aside, so a couple of you mentioned the small classes, and I think that gives us an advantage so that, when we do have the opportunity to return to campus, for those of us with class sizes that range, Dr. Weaver, from what, 6 to 8, maybe, that issue of physical distancing is not such a challenge as it is for some of the classes that have, 15 or 16 people in it. So I am very hopeful that we will be back on campus in some shape or form sooner rather than later. We will keep you posted. I'm going to just go ahead, and this is kind of my spiel, and Natalie, please jump in whenever you see fit. I just put some information together, and some of this is information that you very likely would have found on Ursuline's page anyway. But I just want to put it out there for you so that you have a better idea of what our program is. And thank you for those of you who talked about your experience at Ursuline, because you've opened the door to some of the things I want to talk about. And I think primarily that is what the curriculum is like and what sets our program apart from other master's degrees, say in theology. Why we are a distinctive school with a distinctive program that addresses the needs of those who are preparing for professional lay ministry, because that is really what we do. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and at any point in time, anybody, if you need to jump in and add anything, please just do so. And then we'll open it up for just some discussion. If you have any questions or you want some answers to things that have not been addressed, we'll have that conversation. But can you all see the screen, first of all, that I'm sharing here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Linda, I just wanted to jump in real quick. It looks like everybody seems to be doing okay with the technology, so I'm going to be jumping off. But if anybody has questions, I have my contact information in the email that I sent you with the link. Also, I sent these slides in an email to you shortly before the session started this evening. So you have these to reference after the meeting.
Okay. Melissa, thank you so much for setting this up and for getting us going.
Oh, you're welcome.
I really, really appreciate everything that you and Melanie do. So thank you.
You're welcome, Dr. Martin, and I look forward to working with all of you, hopefully here in the near future with the program.
Okay. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
So just to kind of reiterate, what our program is designed for women and men who are called to leadership and service in the church and the world. Grounded in the Catholic and Ursuline tradition, the program welcomes students of all denominations. And we do our best to reflect and to respond to the diverse academic and theological needs of our student body in our course content and in our curricular offerings. And I think I heard that loud and clear from those of you who talked about your experiences, is that we really do try to be sensitive to and aware of the needs of each person sitting in our class. And so I'm going to go off on a tangent, and Natalie, please jump in too. I know that when I'm designing courses each semester, it's never a matter of just kind of pulling out last semester's class and plugging it right in. I sit down and I take a look at who's going to be sitting in the classroom, and when I choose textbooks and I choose articles and I choose assignments, it's based on who's sitting in the room at that time. So we really do try to be very responsive to the needs of the people who are in our program and who are in each of our classes.
Yeah, I would just add to that. I mean, I really echo that, and I think it's so I've had undergraduate experience at small liberal arts colleges. I also have had undergrad experiences as a returning adult. I took classes at Kent a couple of years ago in art with traditional age, like the 18-year-old population. And I've had classes at Siegel. I mean, I've worked in and been at a lot of different like academic kind of settings. I know Dr. Martin has as well. And the thing that I always come back to with Ursuline is that we have really high like standards for our academics. There's nothing that is light about the learning, but it's not unmanageable because everything that we're doing is like sort of tailored to and in service to the development of the specific students in the class. And so even the like what might be like the daunting concept of writing a master's thesis or something like that, it actually isn't. It becomes you're something that you are really partnered with your peers in the class, and no two students that come out of the program are the same. I mean, it is not a cookie cutter kind of college or graduate experience. So, I mean, I would love, if I weren't already in the program, I would love to enroll in the program because I think it's so, I love seeing the different paths that the students all take, and they really are very different, and everybody's project is different, and the writing expectations and ways, I mean, there's standards, but then there's a kind of not accommodation isn't the right word, but there's a meeting of the student and their comfort level and what they're doing, and then we grow from there. So there's really not, I mean, it's just an entirely supportive kind of community of learning, and really it is tailored, although there are requirements in the program, each one ultimately becomes your own project, your own work. So
I absolutely agree. And as an aside too, I love to watch, I mean, I would love also to go back through and take these courses. And oftentimes when I see courses that you put together or Dr. Messina puts together, my first thought is I really want to sit in that class. But the other thing is just watching the community develop in each of these classrooms. What I see happen over and over again is that you all become not just colleagues and peers, but sisters and brothers in ministry and in academics. I mean, it really becomes a community of support, and it's such a delight to watch that and be part of it. It's really rewarding. These are just some of the very sort of basics about the program, and again, you would discover this by looking at our material online, but just very quickly, the program is geared towards those who are preparing for professional lay ministry. And I think, Dr. Weaver, you alluded to that. What that means is it is an academically rigorous program, and we sort of take a step beyond academic content. The questions that we are asking go beyond simply now that I know this. It's now that I know this, how does this apply in my ministry? How do I use this in my ministry? How does what I know about the Christian scriptures or ecclesiology or sin or grace or anthropology, how does that inform who I am as a ministering person? How does it inform my thinking about church, the role of church, who I am, as somebody who's called to serve? It's all about applied knowledge. It's about praxis. So, if you're looking at other degree programs, for example, if you're looking at John Carroll at a master's in theology, or at Ashland at a master's in theology, what makes our program so, I think, qualitatively different is that we combine that academic rigor with application within the context of each individual specific ministry. We're always driving towards applied knowledge and praxis. And so that's what makes this a degree that is geared towards those who are preparing for professional lay ministry. We have 2 different tracks, and I'll talk about those in a minute. The degree program that has sort of been essential to who we are since we started in 1990 is the MA program. It's a 36 credit hour program. We also have a 22 credit hour certificate program, and Melissa, you talked about that you're in that program as well, and you're taking those courses for credit, and I'll show in a little bit that is an option for those who want a certificate, and you can take the certificate courses either for undergraduate credit or graduate credit, or you can audit them. If you take them for credit, you can also then go on and apply them towards a degree should you decide that you want to pursue a degree at a later date. And I will talk about that in a minute, and I'll invite those of you who are part of the program to talk as well. The courses themselves are, they're all in the evenings. They have traditionally been face-to-face, although we've begun to experiment with more online offerings and more hybrid offerings, where the hybrids where we meet for maybe an hour and a half each week, and then we also conduct some of our coursework online as well. And you all can sort of chime in here who are part of the program now. I'm very grateful that we made that shift, given that we are now doing distance learning. My hope and my desire is that it's actually made that shift a little bit easier. The transition has not been quite as difficult for those of us who have already begun some of the online learning. But the courses are all offered in the evenings. Okay. Typically, folks take 1 to 2 classes a semester. We do offer classes fall, summer, and spring. So what that means is typically it takes about 2.5 to 3 years to finish the program. It is a part-time program. It is not designed to be full-time. The large majority of folks who are in the program are working and or have families and or have all kinds of other things going on in their lives. So it is designed for working adults who have families, obligations, who are engaged in ministries, and who want to do this and need to do this part-time. So given that, and at the pace that people typically take courses 1 to 2 a semester, it takes 2.5 to 3 years, and sometimes it takes folks 4 years to finish up. There's a lot of flexibility in there. We understand that, life happens, things happen, and so quite occasionally people will take a semester off just to pay their children's undergraduate tuition, or to deal with something at work if their work life changes, or if there's an illness in the family. So that's not uncommon either. But that is sort of the nature of the program. It's designed to be part-time. It's designed for folks who are working and have other things going on in their lives. And again, classes are held in the evening, and then it's a combination of face-to-face and sometimes some online learning. And then we do have an MA track, and we also have a certificate track, and I can show you a little bit about that. Again, this is information that you would also find online. I can go over this. I'm going to stop and ask if you have any questions, if anybody would like to add anything.
I myself would like to add something just about the tracks, because we have these this distribution of core classes for the Master of Arts degree, and then specialization and theology and ethics electives that you can select from. And that is sort of the standard program. But I have never known us to have a student who wanted to make an adjustment to our stock program that we haven't accommodated. So if you have if you want to really pursue an actual course, someone, for example, in spiritual caregiving and Alzheimer's. That's the kind of thing that like I would do an independent study with someone. And we have a student in the program, or I think she's still an active student in the program, who works as a funeral director. And so she wanted to do a course in the sort of funeral rites and therapies as a kind of a spiritual caregiving. We had a student who graduated from the undergraduate program but was taking graduate courses in our program, who did work with non-English. She worked as a maternity translator for non-English speaking women in Canton. And so she wanted to do a work on the disparities in healthcare and how you can address those from a spiritual caregiving perspective. And so we will work with students to develop independent reading courses and independent studies, and or to make accommodations if you're really so excited about ethics and you want to swap one of those out, or if you're not coming from a Roman Catholic background, then liturgy and sacraments doesn't make a lot of sense for you to take it, but you want to take our offering in Black theology, or you want to take our offering in religion and violence or something like that. We work with the students so that you can have a degree program that really is going to address your interests and your needs. And sometimes that might mean coming up with an independent tutorial. And sometimes it's such an interesting topic, 2 or 3 students might say, oh, I want to do that. And then they hop on board for that. So there are these, in the Master of Arts in Theological and Pastoral Studies, we have this distribution of course requirements, but we're also pretty flexible about it to meet students' interests.
I would absolutely agree with that. That is a resounding yes. So, we do have, it's a standard curriculum. And if you were to explore other master's degrees in pastoral ministry, you would find very much the same course offerings and course requirements. And they are there for you to take. They are available for you to take. And absolutely, as Dr. Weaver just said, there's a lot of flexibility that doesn't show when you look at this online. We really do try to work one-on-one with every student to try to tailor the curriculum so that it meets your particular needs. So, I'm thinking, for example, Dr. Weaver, you've actually designed courses for students who came to you and said, we would really like to have a course in liberation theologies, or, we'd really like to have a course in feminist theology, which has typically been offered for undergraduates and never really made its way into the graduate curriculum. And so you've designed those courses for folks. Yeah. So it sounds like those of you who have joined us tonight are really looking more at the master's degree curriculum. We do also have certificate courses, and if you look at this, this sort of second column, the certificate program is something that we actually just put together within the last 2 years, and it was an effort to respond to the curricular needs of the Cleveland Catholic Diocese in their formation program for those who are pursuing certification as lay ecclesial ministers. And so what we did was we took our existing curriculum and we tried to tailor it to the diocesan needs. The courses are virtually the same, but they're designed so that they're offered for 2 credits because that's really what the diocese needs. They're offered at a reduced rate of $540 per class. There's a flexible delivery kind of format where if you take these certificate courses, you can take them for undergraduate credit, you can take them for graduate credit, you can also audit them. Should you decide to take them for undergraduate or graduate credit, they do show up on a transcript, which you then have, and you can use that should you decide to apply for a degree program once you're done with that certificate program. And I just bring that to your attention, but it sounds to me like those of you who are here tonight are really looking more at the master's degree. One other thing, and this will come up later, and I'm sure some of you will have questions about financial aid and scholarships and that kind of thing. I wanted to put on here, so the current rate right now for the tuition, which is something people always want to know, the tuition rate for the TAPS courses is $702 a credit hour. That rate actually reflects a 40% tuition reduction, which we negotiated with the college a couple of years ago in lieu of offering any scholarship aid. Typically, graduate classes at Ursuline are about $1,200 a credit hour. So we negotiated with the administration so that we were able to offer anybody who comes into our program as a graduate degree seeking student is automatically given that discount. So should you apply to the MA program, you would automatically receive that 40% tuition reduction towards your courses. Just a couple of kind of sort of need to know things. We are starting our summer planning. We've actually been doing our summer planning for quite some time now. So we do have classes that we're offering this summer. And I put this out there for you just so that you know what is coming down the road. Should you decide that this is something that you want to pursue and you want to apply to the program, you can actually start this summer. We do rolling admissions. You can start fall, spring, or summer. In the curriculum, there are a couple of courses that are typically served best as sort of introductory level classes, and we try to have one of those available summer, spring, and fall, so that for folks who want to start the program at any point, you're able to do that. So this summer, we are going to be offering a couple of courses, one in ecclesiology and another in Hebrew scriptures. We have our fall courses. I feel like I'm just giving you so much information. So I'm going to stop in a minute and just let you ask questions about it, and then we can go from there. But I just want to put this out there for you. So the summer 1 session starts on May 11th. It's coming up fairly soon. We do have a summer 2 session that starts June 15th. Our fall courses start August 24th. Just to back up a little bit, the summer courses will actually be online. We don't know yet with the fall. We're just kind of waiting to see where we're going to be, if we're going to be meeting face-to-face or online, but just so that you know, the summer courses will be offered online. As far as deadlines, should you decide that this is something that you want to pursue, May 8th would probably be the last day that we can accept applications if you're interested in starting with the summer 1 classes. June 12th would be just about the last day that we can accept applications if you want to start summer 2. And then for fall, if you want to start in the fall, the last date we really can accept applications is August 7th. So you have actually quite a bit of time. And then I have on there a link for, if you're interested, if you want to look into the admissions requirements and what's required, you can take a look at it. But typically it is an application fee, which is waived. You're here tonight. So we do waive that fee. We do require transcripts. We require letters of recommendation from folks who know you academically and or as a pastoring person. It's sort of your capacity for ministry. We do not require GREs, so you do not need to take any GRE exams or anything like that. So really it's just a matter of submitting the application, the letters of recommendation, and your transcripts. And that's it.
Linda,
Yes.
Is Gina's class now considered not in the TAPS program because it's being opened up for
It is in the TAPS program. I did not include it in tonight's offerings because it's not a course that typically somebody starting in the program would be taking.
Good point. Okay. Yeah.
So if I submitted my application, I haven't heard anything otherwise, do I still need the letter of recommendation and the transcripts?
Admissions will let you know. They will keep in very close touch with you, and they will let you know. So if they review the application materials quite often, and so they'll keep in touch with you if something is missing.
Okay.
They will also let me know as soon as your application materials are complete, and you will hear back very quickly.
Okay.
So yeah. I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to open it up for just questions or conversation. I've talked a lot, and it's a lot of information that I've just kind of thrown at you. So let me open it up for questions.
Well, I don't have a question, but I would like to add something.
Please.
Which is just something about where our graduates are. And I'm so excited that you mentioned that the program started in 1990 because this will be our 30th anniversary. So we've got to do something to capture this, like get T-shirts with all the names of all of our graduates, or bottles of olive oil with
the
30th
tour,
anniversary.
kind of the tour thing, like the touring T-shirt.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Something like that.
Fabulous.
And then all of the current students, it'll be great.
That would be neat.
Yeah, we'll do something to commemorate it. But so one thing that is useful to note is that our graduates are all over Cleveland and elsewhere. I don't know how far they go and where all they've gone, but we have people from our program who are really, successfully pursuing their careers in ministry in all kinds of different ways. We've had individuals who start their own ministries. We have a student right now who's preparing sort of to take leadership in his church when his pastor retires, and his particular voice, he is actually an artist and an author, and he is developing a series of graphic novels that tell the story of the Gospels. So there's that kind of a, we're nurturing that and helping him do this as part of a master's project. We have an individual who is working as the pastoral administrator at a fairly big church in Streetsboro. So that would be there's Jason, I don't know, where is he? He works in family ministries in the diocese.
With the diocese, he does, correct.
We have, our students from the program have gone on for advanced degrees in academia, so for the doctoral work.
Absolutely.
So we've got people who go that route, and then we also have people who really find their work and are doing the work. So I think it's important to know that if you have your vision, and for those of you doing the lay pastoral ministry trajectory, you will be shepherded through that, not only by us academically, but also by the diocese who's doing the support. But for those of you who are working on the Master of Arts in Pastoral and Theological Studies, you've got your vision, and then you've got the support of the institution, and you find that place, and they are all doing that. So one of the things that I think would be really great for us to do in general, and we do this occasionally, but is to bring you also into dialogue, current and even prospective students, with some of our graduates, so that you can hear their stories about what they've accomplished. And it's really quite impressive. I mean, I'm very grateful to have been a part, as Linda was saying, of those journeys, and to see people doing such important and meaningful work in our area. So
yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you brought that up, because as I think, a couple of things, that our program really does serve people in Northeast Ohio, and folks stay in Northeast Ohio, and that becomes a very important network of support. And so the collegiality and the friendships don't stop when people walk across the stage and they get their diploma. They continue on. And that makes me think too, it's important that we begin to do some more alumni events and bringing people together, because there's so much good work that's happening in our area. And it's the work that people are doing that, who came out of our program.
I didn't mean to keep jumping in, but they keep their network with each other. So I never talk to one of our alums who doesn't give me an update on another alum. So there is really, truly, I think, as Melissa said at the outset, this sense of community that really is and Dr. Martin, your comment of sisters and brothers in ministry, that's a real thing. And it's also something that's very necessary, because people working in ministry really do have ups and downs. One of our most recent graduates did his master's thesis on theological and pastoral burnout in ministers. So right. He did this research on how to support the person of the minister in this work. And so having the collegial reality and those in relationships with the people that you've studied with is just so critical to healthy work and ministry. And I think our graduates really build that with each other. So.
I also just want to say to the folks considering coming, all the things you just heard about the registering of classes and all that stuff. I just want to encourage you to know that you've got 100% support. I can say with some enabled pride that I've never registered for a class myself. I pester Linda and I say, these are the classes I want. Can you register me, please? And she does it, which is so kind. So if you at all ever feel like, I can't figure this out, it's algebra, it's too hard, just reach out to Linda or Natalie and just say, I need your help. I need your help. And you'll get an answer. So don't feel overwhelmed.
Let me ask, for those of you who are visiting with us and considering the program, what did you hear tonight? And what did you not hear tonight? Is there something that we didn't talk about that you'd really like to know about? And is there something that you heard that just really struck you? And hopefully that resonates with you.
For me, what I heard is the unity, the camaraderie, and the openness, the welcoming, spirituality. So everything that I was thinking is what I heard, and so I'm just certainly interested in it. I looked at the curriculum at John Carroll, which was another option. These hours are a little more, but I like the curriculum, and I'm truly impressed with the curriculum, and so that has my attention. And then to meet the people, it takes it to another level for me. So I like it. I do.
We're very nice.
They are. They're really nice.
By the way, Julianne said she's sorry the battery on her computer died. She thought it was plugged in and it wasn't, so she apologized for disappearing.
Thanks for letting us know.
We laugh a lot too.
I heard the,
We sometimes eat a lot too. Eva, you were
guys
gonna
hear me? You hear me?
We can.
Okay. I heard basically the passion that you guys have for the university. I for the last maybe 2 or 3 summers would come over to Ursuline for exercise. I just walk around the campus, and it started there. You talking about how peaceful the campus is, so it kind of draws you in, just being on the ground. But I guess you're so used to doing this, every question that I had prepared to ask was already answered. So you're prepared. You must hear these questions all the time. That's basically what I heard is your passion for what it is that you do and how you're trying to reach out to all faiths, all religions. Even though you're Catholic based, you're going to prepare or willing to have some flexibility with the curriculum depending on the interest. If it's in reason, that's very attractive as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize. I have to go to another meeting. It's Zoom, but thank you, and I hope to see you all in classes with me soon.
Thanks, Rachel. It's the age of Zoom. Zoom away.
Zooming away.
This is Janet, and something that I heard that I appreciated was that there seems to be an emphasis beyond the theology into practice, which I find appealing. And I also, from a more personal perspective, appreciated hearing from somebody who is in the program, it sounds like, without knowing exactly what she's going to do with it. So for me, if I were to take something like this on, I don't actually have a specific goal in mind right now. And it is kind of comforting to know that I don't have to if I were to do that, and that's embraced and accepted.
I'm glad that you heard that, Janet, and thank you for saying that. You know, I mean, we do have, and Dr. Weaver, you can attest to this too. I mean, we have students who come in who know exactly what they want to do when they come out of the program, and sometimes they're actually doing it already and they want a master's degree to reinforce the work that they're already doing. We also have people who come in and say, I don't know what I want to do with this, but I just feel confident that this is where God is calling me to be right now. And I trust that when I'm done, I'll know when I need to be. And they do. It's just, and this is the kind of the joy that comes from just watching the transformations that take place when people really engage with one another and with the material in these courses. I see amazing growth, just spiritually and intellectually and pastorally. It is such a joy to watch. So it's good. I mean, we do absolutely have people who come in knowing what they want to do, and we have just as many people who come in open to wherever it is that their knowledge and the Spirit lead them.
I just want to make a comment to that too, because I'm thinking of one of our more recent graduates. And the other thing is we stay in touch with our graduates and support them in their career development. So we have career services that are part of our campus offerings to our students. But then also personally, we maintain connection and relationship with our graduates. And so we know where they are usually. And I mean, we're not tracking you, but we, have, like, we like to stay in touch with each other. And one of our most recent graduates is in her mid-70s and just got a job recently in campus ministry at another local college. So, and it was just such a beautiful, it was just like, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm praying on it and I'm trusting. And she called me laughing. She's like, you're never going to believe what happened. And they found she had applied a long time back, and somebody read that, say that spirit in her, that it was just such a blessing in our classes. And so that is something that I think is very much just for people who are responding to a calling, Samuel, and then they're, okay, here I am, and you're not really sure what you're supposed to be doing exactly. That is a really common experience, and to have to navigate that is really, you're only here, you're only even in this Zoom meeting because you are called to it. This doesn't just randomly happen. And so I think that that's a really typical kind of experience. And I don't think we've ever watched someone fall flat afterward. I mean, everybody finds their way, and it's a true grace to be part of that. But I do want to say we have, and this was one other thing we didn't talk about, but when Rachel was on, she commented that all you have to do is send us a note and we can get you registered in your classes. So that's not a thing. But we're also, all of the things like the supplemental support things that you need for your educational experience are easily available to you. We have a bookstore on campus. We are very conscientious about our book selection and try and keep book costs down. And I have increasingly moved toward trying to use open source and online material so that you're not actually saddled with a couple $100s in book fees. I mean, that is a really conscientious, decision on the part of the faculty to try to be mindful of what you need for your learning. And we usually get that information out to you really quickly so you're not lagging behind in getting your materials. We have, and somebody mentioned, Eva, you mentioned, I think, walking around the campus. We have gym facilities that are available to all of our students, and they're open after the classes. So there's this beautiful little exercise facility. It's a lovely thing to take advantage of. And we have all of these wellness support bodies in the college. So we have a school psychologist who is available to anyone. If you have any kind of need that pops up, you have people who are supportive persons at the college that will help you and be a support to you. And I think that may be one of the things that is maybe underutilized by our graduate students is actually all of that. It's a whole college campus experience. And even though you might be there part-time or online or in a hybrid model, all of those opportunities are still your opportunities as a student of the college. So I just wanted to share that out because I think it's wonderful that we have all of those things, and it's good to know that those are also available to you.
Thank you. And if I could follow up with a question, you had initially were speaking about careers and what people transition into. And if somebody does the certificate program, is that enough to help them transition into that kind of field, a field of that sort, or does it really require the graduate degree to do that?
Well, I mean, from my my initial response would be, it would really depend on what the work is that you're trying to do. So there are probably many avenues that would be very happy to receive somebody who has that certificate background. And then if you wanted to do adjunct teaching in religion at Tri-C, you would probably need to get the Master of Arts. So it's I think, somewhat dependent upon the environment that you are working in. We had a student that was working in a senior care facility. That was the ministry that she was doing, and the certificate was more than adequate, or would have been more than adequate for what her intention there was. Another thing just to note is that if you were to complete the certificate, which is the 22-hour program, and then decide, hey, I want to go back and apply this at some point toward the completion of the full master's degree, that is also an option. So so it's a really flexible, great program.
Yeah, Janet, I'm sorry, you kind of broke up in the middle of your question, and I think it's my internet is not streaming effectively, but so absolutely, I think that those certificate courses would adequately prepare you to serve in a number of places. The folks that have been, in my thinking, taking the certificate courses have been people who have either been pursuing the lay ecclesial ministry certification program with the Cleveland Catholic Diocese. We've also had people who come to us who already have master's degrees and want to pick up some additional courses, but they're just not quite ready to take on another master's degree. They either don't feel that they need it, or they're retiring and want to kind of retool a little bit so that they can become more engaged in the ministries of their parish. And so in their thinking, the certificate courses are adequate. And again, they can take them for credit. They can audit them if they like. Honestly, the cost is the same whether you take it for undergraduate or graduate credit. Dr. Weaver is correct. If you do take them for credit, you actually do receive a transcript from the college with those credits on it, and then you can apply those towards either an undergraduate or graduate degree if you like. And as an aside, should you apply it towards the graduate degree, you'll already have 22 credits out of the 36 credit hours towards the degree, so you only need 14 more credits to finish the master's degree. So should you make that decision to take the courses for graduate credit or even undergraduate credit, we're probably going to really try to persuade you to continue on and stay with us. But absolutely, you do have those options. Angela, I see you there. Were you ever able to, do you hear us or see us, or I know that Melissa was chatting with you. If you hear us, if you have any questions. Anything else that we haven't answered? Any questions about next steps? I will extend, I think for both of us, you are more than welcome to contact either myself or Dr. Weaver if you have any questions at all about the program, about the application process, about courses that are up and coming. If you think you might like to start with Summer 1 and you want to know, should I take ecclesiology? Would that be appropriate? Feel free to contact us, and we are more than happy to walk with you through that process. That's it, unless you have any other questions or concerns or epiphanies or anything like that. Okay.
I just want to say one last thing about the upcoming events. In September, we're doing, I have to look at the actual language here, but we are hosting a wellness festival. So there's going to be all kinds of great programming in like the form of workshops, like hour-long events, a day-long workshop. So we're in the process of building that, but stay tuned because there's going to be some really exciting stuff coming up. We have a lot of energy right now in the graduate school, and we are really well supported by our administration, who really believes in our work as well. So it's a really wonderful time actually to join the program, because there's a lot of really positive energy and a lot of creative new thinking, and a lot of focus on sort of building out different kinds of ways of thinking about ministry and spirituality. So one of those is going to be this wellness festival, and I'm really excited about it. I was just talking this evening to a Zen monk about helping me present something on like sitting and stillness, and it's just great. Like it's going to be great. So I hope you guys.
You're right. We do actually have some really cool things coming up, and we'll keep you in the loop.
Yeah.
We have your emails, we have your contact information, so you will hear from us.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much for taking time tonight to be with us.
Thank you.
A delight to meet
for
you
having
all.
us.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you all very much.
We look forward to hearing more from you. And Melissa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Stayed through the whole thing. Thank you. And Laura, you too. Both of you stayed for the entire thing. Bless your hearts.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Take
Everybody
care.
have a
Good night,
great
everyone.
evening. Thank you so much.